Winter finally caught up to this barn. I cut a few corners trying to get this addition closed in before the snow hit, and by spring, it was starting to show. The roof had started leaking, the winter pack had built up deep, and a lot around here had slowly gotten behind while everything was frozen up. So it was time to start working through it. The dogs were already laid up on the hill, the chickens were moving through the grass, the goats were waiting on feed like nothing else has changed. Same routine as always. I grabbed a couple trash bags and headed towards the new side of the barn to see how bad things had gotten. I noticed the leaks inside first. A few spots in the barn were dripping pretty good once everything started thawing out. So I figured the rat probably didn't survive the winter the way I hoped it did. From the ground it didn't look terrible, but once I got closer it was pretty obvious. The wind had worked most of the tar paper loose over the winter, and a lot of it ended up in the woods. I was trying to save a little money when I built this winter. I ran out of the synthetic wrap I was using and finished the rest with tar paper I had laying around. It held through the snow, just not through the wind once everything started thawing out. Once most of the trash was cleaned up, I brought the ladder over and started pulling the rest of the old material off. Some of the staples had already started lifting, so I went back through and hammered everything down before putting the new wrap over it.
Okay.
Once the new wrap was down, it turned into a race against the wind to get everything stapled before it started moving again. Nothing complicated. Just me trying to beat the weather with a stapler. That's about the level of entertainment around here. Eventually I got it all tied back together. Couldn't get all the old stuff out without taking the ridge cap off too, so that came apart next. While I was up there, I cleaned a bunch of leftover scraps from when I rushed this whole addition together before winter. The ridge cap actually came off the old garage sitting out back. That's coming down later this summer. Easy to spot. Green ridge cap against a black metal roof. After that, it was holding again. Not perfect, but good enough that I wasn't thinking about it every time it rained. I took a minute after that and just stood outside the barn for a bit. Birds were going, wind was moving through the fields. I felt a little more caught up than I did that morning. From there, I moved into the old side of the barn. The winter pack had built up pretty heavy over the colder months from keeping the goats inside more. I usually leave it through the winter since the composting underneath helps hold heat in the barn. But by spring, it always turns into a bigger job than it looks like from the outside. The first bucket out always makes the biggest difference. After that, it's just mostly repetition. Load after load until the floor finally starts showing back up again. It's funny how much room comes back once all the winter buildup is gone. Once the floor was cleared out, I started working on the walls. The PVC panels clean up alright, but usually the first scrub doesn't do much besides loosen everything up. So I gave it an initial wash with bleach and let it sit for a while before coming back through again. Took a couple rounds before it really started to clean up. While that soaked in, I pulled down old posts from the creek feeder setup and opened up the utility side a little more. That section has slowly gotten harder to move through over time. While everything was apart, I pulled every nail I could find sticking out of the boards. I don't like leaving things like that around. After a few more scrubs and rinses, the walls finally started to come back. They're not brand new, they're just workable again. That's usually the goal around here. And by the end of it, the barn felt a little less like winter was still hanging on to it. Still plenty left to do, always is. But at least this part's back under control again. And while I was out working through all this, the Tundra's just been sitting off to the side the whole time, leaking oil. The valve cover leak's been getting worse for a little bit now. So next time, I'm finally pulling it into the shop. And I'm just going to see how bad it is.